What if Mai confronted Marek after the events of Battle City? Now guys, if you're wondering, this is a continuation video for what if Mai had a redemption arc. I know a lot of you enjoyed that video and were hoping for a continuation, but if you haven't already seen the last video, I'll have it linked in the description below. Now, if you're wondering why I've been focusing on Mai so much recently, when it comes to my main channel videos to my YouTube shorts, well, I think I found a new appreciation for a few characters, and Mai happens to be one of them. You know those characters that you initially think are lame, and just not as interesting as other ones, but eventually you come to appreciate them a lot more, as maybe depending on what stage of life you're in, they become a lot more relatable. Now, Mai Valentine has been through it, and on her journey to redemption after the orichalcos saga, finding and confronting Marek Ishtar was critical. Whilst Marek was possessed with his evil half, Marek had defeated Mai and sent her to the Shadow Realm, where she was mentally tortured. This trauma was one that wasn't easily rectified, as it haunted her in her dreams every night as she woke up screaming. The constant reminder of being alone and worthless had subconsciously taken a permanent hold over Mai, leading to the events of her searching for power in the first place. Now, Mai knew that if she didn't confront her nightmare, things would always remain the same. Now, for this to happen, Mai knew that this would lead her to Egypt. But Egypt was a big area and she had no idea where to find Marek or even begin her search. I guess she could ask Yugioh, but she wasn't ready to make contact with them just yet, or even explain what her plan was, because once she finds Marek, even Mai didn't really know what she wanted from him. However, then she remembered Serenity had told Mai that Ishizu took care of her while Serenity went to support Joey in the Battle City tournament, and when Mai woke up from the Shadow Realm, she remembered that Ishizu had come up to Mai, giving her contact details, telling Mai that when the time comes and that she is ready to give her a call. Mai didn't think much of it at the time, but it's almost like Ishizu had foreseen this moment coming. Mai had left her contact details in another jacket pocket, and once she had gone home to retrieve it, she gave Ishizu a call. However, Mai didn't know what to say, but luckily for Mai, Ishizu did most of the talking. Ishizu asked Mai how she was and when she was arriving in Egypt, which surprised Mai because she hadn't mentioned her travel plans to anyone. Mai told Ishizu her flight details, and Ishizu assured Mai that she would make arrangements for her visit. Now all Mai had to do was get on a plane. Mai packed a small suitcase which wasn't like her. Usually when she travelled, she had a few suitcases full of her outfits. However, this time, all it contained was her dual disc, her precious Harpy Lady deck, and a few change of clothes. Mai meant business. When Mai landed at the airport, just as Ishizu promised, a welcome party was waiting for her. A stretched limo with a chauffeur, and next to the limo stood an elegant looking Ishizu. Ishizu looked a lot more different than she did in Battle City. In the Battle City tournament, she looked sad and tired and usually kept her face hidden behind a veil of mystery. However, this time around, she looked happy and she was glowing, and at the sight of Mai, Ishizu smiled with relief. As Mai approached Ishizu welcomed her. Mai entered the limo, not even questioning where they were headed. And to her surprise, they arrived at a fancy 5-star hotel. The Ishtar family were definitely wealthy. Mai was guided to a suite by her own personal butler. Mai looked at Ishizu as if to ask what's going on. However, Ishizu just smiled and said that it was a long flight and that she should rest a while and make preparations. And Mai knew exactly what she meant. Normally Mai would get excited about how fancy the hotel was. However, this time it was different. The weight of why she was here was weighing heavily on her shoulders. Mai washed her face and then took out her dual disc with her deck and began preparing for a confrontation with Marek. At some point, Mai dozed off to sleep. However, she was awoken by a knock on the door. It was Ishizu. It was time to face Marek. The car they entered this time around was a lot different from a limo. It was smaller and was an all-terrain vehicle. As they entered the vehicle, Mai asked Ishizu where they were going, noticing the sudden change in vehicle. Ishizu told her they were headed to the Valley of the Kings. That's where Marek was waiting for her. Hearing Marek's name out of Ishizu's mouth kind of took her by surprise. Even though it was obvious up until now, it wasn't spoken out loud. However, Ishizu broke the ice. Mai used this opportunity to ask Ishizu why she gave her contact details, and how Ishizu knew that she was coming to Egypt. Ishizu smiled and told Mai that Mai and Marek weren't that different. They were both seeking to find themselves and correct the wrongs they had committed in order to find peace. Ishizu told Mai that Marek had spent the last year struggling with what he had become and what he had done. He had restless nights, unable to sleep, struggling mentally to atone for everyone he had hurt. Ishizu looked at Mai as if looking directly into her soul. Marek had done a lot of great things, helping those in need. However, no matter what he did to ease his conscience, the nightmares followed him. Mai knew exactly what that was like. And Ishizu told Mai that in order for Marek to fully move on, he needed to face those who he had hurt and manipulated. Ishizu also told Mai that she knew that she would come to Egypt because just as much as she needed to face Marek to move on, Marek also needed to face Mai in order to do the same. Mai's head swirled with that information. However, the car suddenly stopped. Mai looked out of the window to see a swirling desert area. At the front of the car, it looked like they had stopped right outside an old Egyptian ruin with pillars sticking out of the ground. Ishizu told Mai that in the ancient times, sorcerers used to use this area to battle and practice in order to make each other stronger. A fitting place for her to battle with Marek. As she walked closer to the ruins, it looked more like a dueling arena with some modern changes. At the far end stood two figures, one with a draping long cloak, which she recognized to be Odeon. And next to Odeon stood the person of her nightmares, Marek Ishtar. Ishizu walked past Mai and took her post next to Marek on his left side, whilst Odeon stood on his right side. Marek took a few steps forward, activating his dual disc. Marek's first words to her were, "I'm sorry it's come to this, Mai." And with that, no more words were necessary, and the duel began. Mai told Marek that she would go first. Mai summoned a Harpy Lady number 3 in attack mode, and then proceeded to activate Elegant Egotist, special summoning the Harpy Lady sisters. She also set one card face down and then ended her turn. The fact that her father had revealed to her that these cards used to belong to her mother increased the bond she felt with those cards, as every Harpy card she played felt like a piece of her mother was inside. It was Marek's turn, and he summoned Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 4, and he used it to attack Harpy Lady number 3, dealing 300 points of damage. However, at the end of Marek's turn, Horus had a special ability. When Horus level 4 destroys a monster by battle, it has the ability to summon a stronger version, which was Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 6. This monster had 2300 attack. Mai drew for the turn. She noticed that she didn't recognize any of these cards that Marek were using from her previous duel. Marek had a brand new deck. Mai activated Harpy Lady Phoenix formation. As long as she had 3 Harpy Ladies or Harpy Lady sisters on the board, she could destroy that many cards equal to how many harpies she had. So she targeted Marek's Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 6. However, the Horus monster was still standing. It was unaffected. Marek, still completely serious, apologized and told her that his monster was unaffected by spell cards. Mai was shocked by this revelation, and as she had no other possible moves, she switched her Harpy Lady sisters to defense mode and set one card face down and ended her turn. Marek on his turn summoned Horus Servant in defense mode. It was only a weak monster, however, its effect protected the Horus the Black Flame Dragon from spell cards, trap cards and monster effects, making it invulnerable to most things. Marek attacked Harpy Lady sisters with his dragon, annihilating Mai's last line of defense. Marek then set one card face down, and at the end of the phase, a similar effect activated and Horus level 6 was able to transform into Horus level 8. However, when Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8 was summoned, Mai couldn't help but think about the Winged Dragon of Ra, and the trauma from that duel all came flooding back. Mai clutched her head and thought, no, not again. She couldn't go back there, back to the darkness. Marek understood her thought process and helped Mai snap back into reality by telling her that Ra was gone. He no longer owned that card and he was done hurting people. Mai took a second glance at the Horus the Black Flame Dragon, and even though they looked similar, this was a completely different dragon, which helped her regain her senses. Mai knew that she had to take this dragon down if she were ever to heal, but how would she do it? This dragon had 3000 attack and had the ability to nullify spell cards, and with Marek's Horus Servant, it was also protected from trap effects and monster effects. Mai only had one hope left. Mai normal summoned a Harpy Lady number 1 in attack mode. Her ability allowed all the wind monsters on the field to receive 300 attack, bringing Harpy Lady number 1's own attack to 1600. Mai then activated one of her face down cards. It was a trap card called Hysteric Party, which by discarding one card in her hand, she was able to bring back as many Harpy Lady cards as possible from her own graveyard. So Mai brought back Harpy Lady number 3 as well as the Harpy Lady sisters. However, even with the boost from Harpy Lady number 1, they were no match for the Flame Dragon. Mai then activated her last face down card, which was another trap called Call of the Haunted. Marek was confused. She didn't have any monsters left in her graveyard, but Mai reminded him that she discarded a card from her hand with the Hysteric Party, and that card happened to be the Harpy's Pet Dragon. Now, the Harpy's Pet Dragon receives 300 attack for each Harpy Lady on the field, and Mai had 3, bringing the Pet Dragon's attack up to 2900. However, let's not forget the effect of Harpy Lady number 1, which boosted all the wind monsters on the field by 300, bringing the Pet Dragon's attack to 3200, making it stronger than Marek's dragon. Mai attacked Marek, destroying Marek's boss monster, dealing 200 damage to Marek's life points. Mai had finally done it. A massive weight had left her chest. It wasn't just defeating the dragon that caused her so much happiness. She realized that she was really enjoying this duel, and actually for once having fun. This duel wasn't about attaining power, it was just two duelists giving it their all. This was one of the greatest duels she's ever had, and Marek felt the same. However, Mai still had 3 attacks left. Harpy Lady number 3 attacked Marek's Horus Servant, destroying it, whilst Harpy Lady number 1 attacked Marek directly. Now Marek only had 2200 life points left, and Mai's last monster was the Harpy Lady sisters with the attack of 2250. With this last attack, Marek would lose the duel. However, just before Marek was about to lose, he activated a handy trap card called Nutrient Z. This trap card increases Marek's life points by 4000, bringing it up to 6200 before taking the full brunt of the Harpy Lady sisters, bringing Marek's life points to 3950. Mai was taken aback. She had attacked him 4 times that turn, and she had only managed to inflict 50 points of damage to Marek's overall life points. She could tell that Marek was truly a skilled duelist. Mai and Marek's duel was a tough one. They dueled for a very long time. Both were pushed to their limits. Now guys, I was planning to finish this duel. However, I really want to know in the comments down below who you guys would think would win this duel between Mai versus Marek. So let me know, who do you think would win that duel and how you think they won. Now regardless of the result of the duel, the real duel was the duel of redemption of both Mai and Marek. They say when two duelists give it their best in a duel, their true feelings are revealed. Mai was able to have a fun and honourable duel with Marek. She realised that Marek wasn't the monster that she had built up in her head, and if anything, this duel had made her realise how much she had been holding herself back. She felt free. However, this still wasn't the end of her redemption journey. There was still one more person waiting for her at the end. It was Joey Wheeler. Guys, I'm really glad you're enjoying this series, and I hope you guys stick around for more content like this. So make sure you like this video and subscribe guys. Until next time.